Hello everyone, this is Popular Paxton here. First off, I just want to say Happy New Year, and I want to welcome you guys to my first upload of 2019. And today we're going to be taking a look at a custom model segment. This is a custom model segment, and we're going to be taking a look at some engines here. So let's get started with the first 3 out of 6 engines I'm going to be showing. So this is like the first half, so let's get started with these 3 characters, which are like background characters from Big World Big Adventures. So we're going to start off with this diesel right here. So this is the Brazilian diesel. In Big World Big Adventures, when Thomas, Nia, and Ace arrive at Brazil, Thomas is unloaded next to Ace, and this diesel is seen shunting some trucks next to him, and he takes a quick look at Thomas as he passes by. Later in the movie, Sir Topham Hatt is in Brazil looking for Thomas, and the diesel tells Sir Topham Hatt that he saw Thomas and said that he was taking coffee to San Francisco. However, that was not the same diesel as this one that looked at Thomas, because that diesel that was talking to Sir Topham Hatt had different colors, while this one is like light blue and orange and all that. So, I made this from a Thompson Friends wood diesel, the one with not with all the bare wood spots and stuff. I bought that wood diesel because I thought I was going to use it in like an episode of Such-un Railway Tales or something, but that episode didn't end up happening, and so I just had this wood product, and I was debating back and forth a few times after I saw the movie. Do I want to make a custom with this? And so I finally ended up doing it. So this wood diesel has been made into a Brazilian diesel shunter. So you may have seen this in my latest Medieval Misadventures episode, Time Traveling Rotten, where this diesel has a name that I gave it, Raphael, on the bottom. Yeah, I painted the bottom of the chassis black, although I didn't paint this part, like where the wheels are on, because that would have been tough. But yeah, I painted the bottom black so I could apply the name and it could be read better. I mean, if you look kind of closely, I'm trying not to get my shadow in the way, but you can see where it still had diesel, like, kind of carved into the bottom of the wood chassis. So yeah, Raphael. Anyway, so this diesel has black and yellow hazard stripes. I painted a red buffer beam on the front end, but not on the back end. Yeah, he's got light blue paint on here, along here. Just a very thin line on the bottom there. Same on this side. And then he's got it all along the top here. He's got windows here on the sides and on the back here. He's got orange paint underneath the blue paint. This diesel shunter is also seen in in the background in some of the India episodes of season 22. So yeah, it's not like he only worked in Brazil. But anyways, these diesels are supposed to have red wheels. Like, if you look at a couple of shots where you can see this diesel, like, both in, like, Big World Big Adventures, the movie, and, like, if you look at this diesel in a shot of Trusty Trunky, where this Italian diesel named Norjahan, I hope I said that right, Norjahan, is passing by. If you just try to look closely at the diesel, you can see that it does have some red wheels. So I didn't want to paint like the whole wheel red or anything. I just like put the tips of the wheel. I just painted the tips of the wheels red. That's kind of like what Hero the Japanese Train did for the custom commissions of the mainland diesel shunters that he made for Thomas One Railway. He painted these tips of the wheels red. And so that's just what I did. I didn't want to like go to the trouble of painting the entire wheel, because, you know, unless I put a clear nail polish over it, the paint's just gonna chip off. And I just decided to just do this instead. And finally, like this yellow line, stripe that goes along. I'm rather intrigued, or I don't know. I don't know if I want to say impressed, but it's interesting that this, rather than just being a straight line, this line like does like a little bit of like a bottom half of a triangle or something. It just goes zigzag like this a little or whatever. And then it kind of does another thing right here where it kind of dips down like a triangle, like an upside down triangle. So yeah, that's interesting. But overall, I'm pretty satisfied with this model. So like I said, the name I gave this diesel is Raphael. And I hope you like him. So let's move on to the next custom, which is a white version of Ryan. So, in Big World, Big Adventures, when Sir Topham Hatt has arrived at Dar es Salaam docks to look for Thomas, this white version of Ryan is seen in the background pulling some trucks. So, I had a wood Ryan that I got with Scruffy, obviously. Basically, I decided to use this wood Ryan to make a custom. So yeah, I mean, let me just tell you though that, I mean, depending on your colors maybe, you would think that painting over some bare wood would maybe, not be as tough as like painting over some already painted wood. Like, let's just say, I'm gonna take this truck, like this is wrench and bolt here. Like if you were painting over this, depending on your colors, you could still see this paint underneath. So you would think like if you were painting over bare wood, it wouldn't be as like visible. But I mean, like, I guess what I'm trying to say is that you would still have to apply a few more coats on there. Something. Anyways, let me just go on with the details. So this was made from a wood Ryan. The engine was like seen at this kind of angle, so we don't see its face. I mean, we don't really get to see the faces of a lot of these background characters of Big World, Big Adventures. I mean, you could like look at them from a sideways glance, or from a sideways view or something, but you don't like get to see their face head on, or like this or something. But anyway, so I painted black lining on here. Painted this part of the opening of the cap. I decided to add like a little wheel arch there on the sides here. I painted the wheels white. I also painted black on the chassis too, but I didn't give it a name. I'm just gonna say like this will be an unnamed character for now. Yeah, I mean, I would like to try to keep having unnamed characters in my videos, just to kind of not have to go to so much trouble of coming up with names and all that. Anyways, I painted the buffer beam on the front and on the back. I also decided to add cab windows because when I was painting the coal on here, I mean, I was kind of getting some paint like up on there, so I decided, you know what, if I don't want to like try to fix that, I'll just put cab windows on the front and on the back here. So anyways, I also added black stripes on the boiler, and then the dome here, since the wood models of the steam engines don't have domes, I just made my own little dome out of some white clay, and I think it looks good enough on there. Makes it look pretty complete. So, yeah, I will make sure I put a clear nail polish on these white wheels to make sure that the paint doesn't chip as I roll along the track. Yeah, I've got quite a few models that have like painted wheels that I want to add clear nail polish to so that the paint doesn't keep chipping. But I'll worry about that later. So now this next model is not exactly complete, but I mean like it's 99% complete. But anyways, this is a purple version of Oliver that was only seen very briefly in the corner of the background in the beginning of the episode Trusty Trunky. So this purple version of Oliver was seen in India pulling some passenger trains. And so yeah, that's really all we saw this. So the one thing I haven't finished on this model is a face. It's because, well, this model was made from a extra Oliver that I had originally turned into a scrap model. And so I decided, you know what, I could make a purple version of Oliver. There's also like a red version of Oliver that was seen in the background of Big World, Big Adventures, the movie in Brazil. But I wasn't really going to do that one. I figured purple would be a lot better and nicer. But anyway, so there's still like rust paint on like the sides of the chassis here and on the magnets too. Like I couldn't like get it off very good. But anyways, I added buffer beams on the front and back. You can see like there's a little dent in the wood there. That's because when I once was taking the face off this model, my Dremel tool kind of cut through the wood right there. Yeah, that's a cut in the wood. Yeah. But anyways, I painted the wheels purple. I also painted the chassis black, but like the Wood Ryan, this won't have a name for now. Or maybe at all. Now the yellow lining here, you can't really get a good enough glimpse at the engine to like know all the details. I kind of just had to work it out as I went. So I know like this top line here was like something I added on. I was really thinking like all there was on that model was this much, but I just added the top line here. I painted the cab windows. I added this yellow line right here. Don't mistake that for a number 1. I added the little handrails here on the top. They don't like actually connect though, because I was looking at my Mattel Oliver to kind of base for reference or to like know the details. Anyways, I also repainted like this little dome thing here, or whatever this is. And yeah, that's like the purple version of Oliver from India, seen in Trusty Trunky. So I'll just have to find a way to add a face. I don't think I'm gonna add like paper faces to it. I would either make a clay face, or I would find a face from an existing model and put it on this one. I don't know, I'll figure it out later. So now that we looked at these 3 background characters from Big World, Big Adventures, let's move on to the last 3 engines. So I'm going to start with this one that's being seen right here. So this is the Mallard. The only thing I did was that I upgraded the tender. It was originally a Spencer's tender, but that wasn't accurate. So I bought an extra Flying Scotsman's cold tender off eBay before December, I think. Sometime before December or whatever. And so then I painted it. So I also touched up the wheels because I like put new red paint on the wheels because I got a new red paint. Although I didn't realize until the first coat was applied on these wheels that this red paint is actually a bit glossy or metallic or whatever. So I mean, like, the wheels do look like a little glossy or something than they originally did. So yeah, I mean, yeah, I am going to put a clear nail polish over these. But I put new red paint on the wheels because, you know, I was going to have to paint these wheels on the Flying Scotsman's tender. So I thought I'd just put red paint over the original red paint on these wheels just so they could look the same. But yeah, so here's the cold tender here. I have not added like numbers or nameplates or anything on the tender or on the model here, but I plan to do that at a later time. But anyways, yeah, it's just blue all over, and then red wheels. And yeah, it just looks kind of bland or something. I mean, it looks nice now that it's more accurate, but it just looks a little bland or something without the extra details like the numbers and nameplates. So hopefully I can get those added soon, and it will look complete. So that's the Mallard right there. Next up, I have an upgraded model of Bear. So originally my Bear model, which was one of the first custom models I ever made, my Bear model was made from an old style diesel 199. But everyone's been saying, and it's true, that that model does not actually it does not look like Bear at all. Yeah, so I got rid of that model, but I took the face off of it so I could still keep it. And then I took the face off an old style Daisy, and then I used the model from that for this. So I also changed Bear's number. It was originally like D7101, but it's like really supposed to be like D3 or something. Like that's probably like something that was changed when he was made a permanent member of Sodor. So it's D3. I made like all these windows, some of these lines. I didn't add some details or anything on the sides, like smoke exhaust vents or whatever. And I actually like kind of put some of these windows in like the wrong spots or something. Like some of these windows like should have been like over here or something, but I messed up a little. I painted Bear on the bottom. Bear's eyebrows were originally a little bit thicker, but I like scratched them off and then redid them, and they look nicer now. So there's the front windows. I painted some yellow on the back here. There's the back windows. There's like the same stuff on that side, and then the roof here I'm like proud of. So like I was looking at some other pictures of like a Bear custom, like from Riotron 12, his Bear custom. So I was looking at the top of that to like know what details to add. They're pretty much like the same as a normal diesel 199, like a new style one to be exact. So yeah, I'm pretty proud of how I was able to get like all these details and stuff. And that's it for Bear. Just upgraded him to look more accurate. And now the last custom is a silver version of James. So in the season 22 episode, An Engine of Many Colors, James is having many dreams while he's at the steamworks following his accident where he crashes into Titmit sheds. And in the last dream, he dreams that he is silver. And so I decided to like make a silver James because, you know, I would maybe want to do a scene, remake the scene from that episode. And so it's kind of interesting of why this actually ended up being a silver James. This was originally a Busy as a Bee James, where I had taken the face off of it and put it on a spare James model to make an angry face James. So I had this Busy as a Bee James that had no face, and I was originally going to make it into a Bow custom, the Grand Canyon mining engine from Big World Big Adventures the movie. And I had even made a clay face for Bow, but when I was kind of debating on whether I still wanted to do it, because the Thomas Wood items are now being fully painted, and I'm pretty much gonna end up getting a actual Bow model from there. So I decided to make this into a silver James now, because that would actually be an accurate model, because, you know, this James would not exactly be the best kind of model for a Bow custom. But, oh well. Well, yeah, anyway, so the face here is made of clay, oven-baked clay, because, you know, I had to have a face for it, since it didn't have an angry face, and I had no spare happy faces. So yeah. So the face here, I guess it's alright. So I took a toothpick when the clay was soft, and I put a smile in there, and then I had to put black paint in there when the clay was baked. And then so overall I think it looks okay. So the buffer beam and the running board is red. There's like white on here. The rest is all silver. The dome stayed the same. So did the back of the cap here. Also, well, I'll show you that in a second. So here's the tender. There's no like black outline around the number 5, but I figured that would be tough and could mess it up and ruin the number. So I just left it as a yellow 5 with no outline. And the tender is all silver here. I mean, there are like some silver details and stuff, like the stripes and stuff. They're a bit of gray color, but I didn't add those because I figured that'd be a little too much trouble. So it still says Busy to be James's tender, but on this model here, I gave it a name because this is actually going to be a original engine when it appears in later videos. So this engine's name is Silver, obviously. So yeah, this engine will like not be a silver version of James in my stories. It's going to be like another number 5 engine that looks like James, but it's only silver. So anyways, since I'm going to do that scene from An Engine of Many Colors where James is having his silver color dream, I needed some other faces for it, so I actually baked a couple other faces and painted them. So this is the shocked face right here. This is the angry face. I was trying to make some of these faces kind of a little accurate to James's classic series faces, although they're not completely accurate. Like this open mouth here is like more like a circle instead of like a sideways oval or something. And the eyebrows are a little bit thicker than James's eyebrows really are. But anyways, here's like the angry face here. I tried to make it like James's classic series angry face. And here's like the sad face too. So yeah, those are like, I could be using these faces for silver here in later videos. I don't know yet. These faces might just stay for the purpose of the remake video, but I don't know yet. But anyways, that's it on silver here, or the silver version of James for the remake. And that's all the custom models I have to show for this video. Let me just flip Mallard around so he's facing the other way with all the other engines. And I'll just put these faces over here. And that's all the custom models here for this custom model segment. So thanks for watching, guys. I was originally going to make some updates with this custom model video, but I think they'll just maybe have to be a separate video, because you know, I believe this video is long enough already. So yeah, that's all on these custom models here. There'll be some more custom model segments coming soon. And thanks for watching, guys, and here's to a new year 2019.